Yeah, I'd like to introduce you to my wife, Ada. This is my son, Dewey.
From the islands of Hawaii, here is Flex Kavana!
Rocky Maivia!
This is The Rock, the great one, the people's champ, the people's choice.
Dwayne Johnson is the world's highest paid actor for the second year in a row.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson just bought the XFL in a $15 million deal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly welcome to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Dwayne Johnson.
I have had one hell of a life, but I wasn't born into it. I've had to work very hard for everything that's come my way. My mother's father was the legendary Samoan wrestler, High Chief Peter Maivia. My grandfather wrestled for Vince McMahon's dad in the 70s, and my dad wrestled for Vince McMahon in the 80s, and I came along in the 90s and early 2000s, wrestled for Vince McMahon. And my grandmother wound up being the first female wrestling promoter in the history of wrestling. You know, being a kid growing up in the world of professional wrestling, I learned a lot of stuff very early on in life. My mom and I followed my dad as he wrestled all over the world, and things were challenging back then, like living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, we weren't destitute in any way, but certainly weren't rich. We moved here to Bethlehem from Nashville because my dad wasn't wrestling for Vince McMahon anymore. Yes. So money wasn't coming in the way it used to, so he and my mom opened up a cleaning business. I had a side job after school slinging pizza. When I got to the University of Miami, it was in 1990, and I was a freshman. When I left for Miami, my parents shut down their cleaning business in Pennsylvania and moved to Tampa to be close by. My dad got a job driving a liquor truck. My mom also worked, but her #1 job was worrying about me. All those places we lived, we never owned our own house. In 1991, I was playing football for the University of Miami. We won a national championship. The plan was to become a starter, kick ass on Saturdays, get drafted by the NFL, and buy my parents their first ever home. And the dream didn't come true. I didn't get drafted. I didn't get any offers, nothing. I had to work up in Canada, the Canadian Football League. When I was cut from there, my dad had to come pick me up, and I'm 23 years old. I am forced to move back in with my parents. I said, I wonder how much money I have, and I took out my wallet, and I had a 5, a 1, and some change. I thought, oh, I have $7. When I said to him, I want to get into the professional wrestling business, he was adamantly against me getting into the wrestling business because at that time we were living in a small apartment in Tampa, Florida, and he said, look around, this is what I have. I don't have anything, and I don't want that for you. I still had to follow my gut and my instinct. So when I first started wrestling, the idea was, well, why don't you call yourself Rocky Maivia? Out of respect for your dad, Rocky Johnson, grandfather, Peter Maivia. I hated the name, and I thought, well, I just wanted to make my own way, and I wanted to be independent. I love my family, but I don't want to do it like that because it feels like I'm trying to leverage their fame. So that's when it was Rocky Maivia, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to be called that. We're going to shorten it. I'll be called The Rock, and here we go. When I was at the height of my career in the WWE, I felt that for the very first time that I was close to accomplishing everything that I wanted to accomplish in wrestling. And I quietly walked away. Kind of shook me a little bit because wrestling was all I knew at that time. And I had dabbled in acting, but yet I also felt that I wanted to do more. I wanted to grow as a person. I wanted to grow as an entertainer. My ex-wife, Danny, the marriage didn't work out, and it was just one of those things where it wasn't an ugly divorce, it was just great friends. Marriage wasn't in our cards, but we both had an appetite for business and to accomplish things. And we thought, well, what if we continued to do business together, and do you think we can? And it felt like it was like we could make something happen, and we did. My much better and better looking half, Lauren Hashin. You know, this woman is the most loving, caring, inspiring to me and to everyone she meets. And I have a daughter who's 18 years old. Her name is Simone. Jasmine, who just turned 4. Tiana, who is getting ready to turn 2. Being a father is the greatest job I have ever had, the greatest job I will ever have. I always wanted to be a great dad. I always wanted to give Simone things that I felt I never got. When I held her when she was born, I held her in these 2 hands and I said to her, I will always, always take care of you for the rest of your life. You are safe. And throughout the years, throughout the ups and downs, I've realized that the most important thing that I could do with my daughter is lead our life with love. Not success, not fame, not anything else. No, I also want to teach my daughters the value of hard work. More importantly, I want to teach my daughters the value of being kind and how important that is. My dad was a man who, against the odds, made it. He would get up at usually 5:30 in the morning, and he would say, if I get up, you're going to get up too. In his way, he pushed me to do things I never would have done. My dad always said, too, that regardless of what you do in life and where you go, respect is going to be given when it's earned, and you have to go out and earn it every single day.